All right, module 0. This is the first part of the class. I mean, the first module of the class. Whatever we discussed before this class is just introduction such as what you're going to get from the class, how to prepare the hardware, I mean, the requirements, like the hardware, the software, and how to be successful on this trading. And also, I let people know I'm having runny nose. So if I go mute frequently, please don't get offended. It's just going to be only today, hopefully. All right, module 0, introduction to information technology and IT infrastructure. Then we're going to look at the traditional data center. Initially, I said I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to have this is not spelled right. It's supposed to be traditional data center and cloud computing. So the way I always organize the training or the class is before the class, I will tell you the topic that we are going to cover. And for this topic, module 0, we're going to cover introduction to information technology, introduction to IT infrastructure, introduction to traditional data center, and introduction to cloud computing. That is in this order. That is the first part of the training. Then, after the introducing you or the module topic, we're going to look at what are the objective. So this way you can be well assured that, okay, these are the topic and these are what I'm expected to know after I participated in this topic. So I always provide module objective. And for our module 0, the objective is after the completing this module, you will be able to do the following. First, you will understand the foundational information technology, foundational IT, and its key components. You will be able to explain the core elements of traditional IT infrastructure and how it supports business operation. You will be able to understand what is traditional on-prem data center and cloud-based solutions. And finally, you understand what is cloud computing and its advantage over traditional IT data center. All right, module 0, topic 1. What is information technology? Before we go into what is information technology, I want to tell you something that my mode of teaching, I do both theoretical and practical because you cannot neglect the theoretical part. They are very, very essential. Majority of cloud interview, like 80 to 90%, they will be asking you questions about real life scenario. And what they are judging you on is, do you actually know the concept? If you don't know the final answer, it's fine. But do you know the concept? And you can only get the concept from theoretical parts. So I cover both the theoretical and the practical. When you understand the theoretical part very well, the practical will be easy. But if you don't understand the theoretical part, you just jump into practical, then you'll be able to configure it. But what if they change the scenario? Can you still explain it? So that is why I cover both. And if you are not a theoretical person, please be theoretical for this 1 month, okay? So let's go back. What is information technology? I know a lot of people say, I want to join us. This person is working in IT that person is working in IT, I want also work in IT. But do you actually know what an IT is? And why I also put this here, what is IT? I know some people are like, oh, what is IT related to cloud? I've seen a lot of people, they will ask you, maybe you go for an interview and they ask you, how many years of experience do you have in IT? You will see some people, they say 2 years. Some will say 1. Some will say, no, I don't have any experience in IT. But this same person that say he doesn't have experience in IT has been working in factory for 5 years, and he has been taking receipts or taking products, has been keying it on the system, has been printing in and printing out, has been storing some information on the system. And that same person or another person might say, I don't have knowledge in IT, and this person has been working in bank for 20 years, for 15 years. I know of a guy that came to America here, and when I was talking to him, he said he wants to join my class. Then I asked him, how many years of IT experience do you have? And he said, no, he doesn't have any single IT experience. And you say you've been working in bank. You say, yes, I'm a cashier. Being working in a bank as a cashier, you work in IT. Even if your job title does not say IT, you still work in IT because you work with computer, you store things on your computer, you transfer file, all those things. They are classified as part of your experience in IT. So if you understand what an IT information is, then you'll be able to gauge and structure your resume based on how many years of experience you have in IT. And another scenario is that when you are doing your resume after the class, you will now sit down, you will look at all these jobs that you have done in the past, and you will be able to structure them. That you may be working in a factory, you may be working in hospital, but when you are doing your resume, you will be able to bring out the parts of that job that you do that is IT related, and you will count that as part of your years of experience in IT. So when we talk about information technology, which is just the use of computer, network, storage, and other physical device to perform your day-to-day digital function. Day-to-day digital function such as you create file, you create database or spreadsheet, you process file, you store information, you secure information, and you exchange data. You send email to somebody, you receive email from people, you send file to them to review. They send file to you to review. All these count as part of your IT technology. So what are the components, the key components of IT information technology? You have the hardware part and you have the software. Let's take a look at the hardware. When you talk about computer, there are different kinds of computer. There are some, they are called the client computer, and those are the ones that you use. The desktop, the laptops, and the mobile phones. They are client computer. And during the class, I will be explaining or teaching you the difference, possibly today or not today, the difference between the relationship between a client computer and a server. And this is part of what you should be expecting in an interview. Some might ask you, what do you understand by the concept client-server relationship? Client-server relationship. And this is part of what you should be expecting in an interview down the line. So, components of IT, you have the client computers, which is desktop, the laptop, the mobile phone, and you have another set of computer. They are computer, but they are very powerful computer, and they are not being used by regular or day-to-day people. It is actually being used by corporate, enterprise, companies, or businesses. And this computer, they are referred to as server. Their servers is just general, like normal computer that you use, but they are very powerful. They are very powerful, can be expensive, and you don't use them for your day-to-day activities like watching movie, sending email. You don't use server for that. They actually use server to store applications. If you work for a company today and the company have some application, maybe you have to go to a website to go to their email or a link and maybe sign in from there or register for an SPA or do anything that the company wants you to go and do. Maybe you are onboarding, a company is onboarding you and they are giving you access to some of their information, some of the applications that they use. All these applications, they are actually stored on server. So you're going to be using your laptop or your desktop or your phone to interact with the information that are stored on this giant or corporate computer called servers. So if you open your app now and your bank, you go to your bank app and you put in your username and your password on your phone. That your phone is actually getting those information, those your account balance, those profile, is getting those information from the information that are stored on the server. So there are different kind of server. There are some that they stored, and what you stored on a server will actually determine what you call that server. A server can be called a web server if what is stored on it is web application or websites. If you go to google.com, yahoo.com, amazon.com, for those of you that like to shop on Amazon, if you go to amazon.com, go to yahoo.com, or you go to your church websites, the system or the server that those information are stored are referred to as web server. If you go to your banking software, and your bank has like all these mobile banking, and you open the bank software, which has an icon on your phone, or which is an icon on your phone, you click on it, it opens, and you key in your username and you start transferring money. Those information are actually stored on the application software, application server, and they call it application server. There is database server too, where database people's information are stored, and we call those on database server. So whatever you store on it, the name of the server will be determined by what is stored on that server. But all of these actually make or are the hardware. There are more than this, but these are just few that they are key components of information technology. What about the software? The software, the major software is the operating system. Every computer or every server has an operating system that is running on them, because the concept of the computer is just hardware. Your computer is just hardware. If you open your laptop, you just see a box, and inside that box there are some wires, there are some iron inside there. All this hardware, you can't use them. You can't use them directly. You cannot open your laptop and start writing on the open your laptop. When I say open your laptop, I'm not saying like open it. When I say open your laptop, that you unscrew it, you all the bolts and the nuts, and you start writing on those hardware. It's not possible that way. You can't use computer that way. But how do we use computer? There is something that makes the use of computer possible for human being, because computers, the only language that computers understand is 0 and 1. Everything you are seeing on your computer, to the computer, it's actually seeing the billions or millions of zeros and one. Then your computer will process the information that you are giving it in form of zeros and one, and we output in form of zeros and one. So if every computer are giving us information in zeros and one, then nobody is going to be using computer, because you will need extra knowledge to process those zeros and one. So there is something on our computer that makes it easy for us to be able to read the zeros and one that the computer is outputting. Because let's say this is your laptop. No matter what you put on your laptop, the laptop is going to see it as zeros and one. This is your laptop. Even if you put a picture, if you upload a picture on your phone to the system, it will be seeing it on some pixel or zeros and one. You will see it like thousands or millions of zeros and one. So how do you upload a picture on your laptop and the laptop is seeing it, your computer is seeing it as zeros and one, and you are seeing it as that your handsome baby, or you are seeing it as yourself and your friends and your family? Like, oh, look at how handsome we are. Look at how these babies are. But to computer, it's seeing it as zeros and one. So how are we seeing something different from what the computer is seeing? It's possible because of this operating system. So this is how the system is organized. At the base, you have the hardware of your computer. Those are the things that form your computer. And on top of the hardware, you will download something there called an operating system. Operating system, OS. So because of the help of this operating system, then you and me can now use this hardware as computer, because whatever we pass to the computer, we are passing it not directly to the hardware, we are passing it to the software, which is this. You can pass it directly to the operating system, or you can pass it to what we call an application, which is installed on top of the operating system. So let's say you want to use your banking software. This is your banking software application. You open it, you put in your username and your password, and that will take that information and process it. Let's say you want to save your username and your password on that banking app, so that anytime you want to sign in, when you just click on it, it will show you your username and your password. Or you want to save you want to upload your picture on your system. You want to upload it on your system. And guess what? The application you are using to upload the photo on your system, is going to send that photo to the operating system. Then the operating system will now send this, convert it to the language that the computer actually understands, which is zeros and one. It will convert it to that, and it will store it on the hardware. On your hardware, you have what is called a storage. That's why if you want to buy a laptop, you say, well, I need a laptop that has 1 gig RAM. I need a laptop that has 1 terabyte. I need a laptop that has 2 or 12 terabytes. Those storage, these are the hardware. Or you need a laptop that can process information so fast. That is processor. Those are hardware. They are being used with the help of operating system. And end user, you and me, we cannot use this hardware directly because they are nothing to us. If I open my laptop now and pieces it, I will just be left with some bunch of metals, wires, fan, and things like that. But all this information are what actually makes computer, and they are useful because there is a middleman or a middle device that is helping us to communicate with the hardware, and that is the operating system. So the kind of laptop you have will be determined mainly by its operating system. If it is a Windows operating system that is downloaded on your laptop, then this entire system will be called a Windows computer. If it is a Mac operating system, it will be called a Mac computer. And if it is Linux, it will be called a Linux computer. Am I communicating or just talking to myself? Any questions so far? Or you guys are sleeping?
No, that's good. We can hear you. I mean, we understand what you're saying.
Okay, good job. Good to know that I'm not shouting to myself. It's crazy. All right. So we understand the concept of computer, we understand the concept of server, and we understand the concept of software and application software, right? So when you actually have a computer, the computer comes with some hardware, and whoever that produced the system will have download or installed software on it. So you buy both the software and the hardware. And in some cases, you have some application that already comes with the computer. But the computer by itself is just nothing. If I just carry a computer and I put it in, what I can do with that computer will be limited. I can watch videos on it. I can play the games that is already downloaded on it. And those applications that comes with that computer, we normally refer to them as built-in software. Maybe the producer install some software with the computer, we call them built-in. So the only thing that you can do with the computer, they are the information that is already on the computer. What if you want to do more? What if you want to do more? You want to be able to use the computer to send information to another person in another country. You want to be able to use the computer to watch live music, or you want to use the computer to watch training. You want to use the computer to process some real life data. Then that computer needs to be connected to other computers or other IT infrastructure. So let's say this is my computer now. Sorry, I'm not a good drawing or a good artist. Just say this is my computer, the laptop. This is my laptop. Then I want to watch Yemi's training. Or let me call it AWS training. Then that means I have to connect my laptop to an internet. Then the internet will connect me to the AWS training. And let's say I also want to connect my laptop to another person, maybe my friend, so that he can help me with some tasks. He can log into my laptop, or he can share his screen with me so that you can solve some tasks together. This process of connecting laptops, connecting to training, connecting to devices, internet devices, is what is referred to as networking. When you join multiple computers together, It's called networking. You might think like, oh, I'm not network my computer to anyone, but you connect your computer to internet, either directly with wire or you are using Wi-Fi. You are connecting to another set of computers somewhere provided by your service provider. But the only thing they give you in your house to connect to is the router. Is a router. And when you connect to the router, which is in your house, and that router give you access to the internet, then because you have internet now, you can connect to AWS trading. You can connect to your friend to do Zoom call. All these are called networking. But this is you. Let's take it to an organization, a company, because you are in this class because you want to start working for a company, right? So a company connects multiple computers together. Look at what we have here. A company that has a website, they will have a server called web server because that is where they put their website so that you can access it. They will have, so when you connect to this server, let's say this is you. You connect to this server with your laptop. Then you are now accessing their website. Oh, it's like, oh, I love this product. I want to buy it. Then you click on the link to buy the product. And the link, maybe an Amazon, for instance, now, show you the products in different shape and form. What actually happened is that that website has some images that are stored or that are connected to that website. But those images, they are not on the same server that this website is. Those images that you are viewing, they are stored in another server called a storage. So this website is going to be connected to this storage site. And because you want the company to ship the products to you, so you have to provide some information, your name, your address, your phone number, your billing credit card, and things like that. All those information, the company will take all those information because you fill a form. They are going to extract all those information and they are going to store it on another server called a database. So your website or the web server is connected to the storage and it's also connected to the database because immediately you are putting your information, they are extracting those information and they are storing it in their database. And guess what? You also put your credit card and the company, well, like, they are not sure whether you put a fake credit card there. They need to test it and make sure it's original. Then they are going to have another thing called an application server. And this application server, immediately you put your credit card, we send that credit card information to the application server, and the application server might connect to another server somewhere, maybe your banking operation or your bank. It will connect to the bank to verify whether these information are true or not. If the bank verify that the information are true, then it's going to send a signal back to the application. Then the application is going to give you permission on the website. All of these, and there are a lot of things that are connected together. For this computer to be able to connect it together, you need what is called a router, because it is the router that will be taking the traffic and be sending it. Traffic is just when you are sending information to one computer, it is called traffic. You open a website, you fill in the form, and you click on submit. All the information that you put on that form will be extracted and will be sent out to another computer. That by sending, that is what we refer to as traffic. So all of these computer that's connected together, it can be more than this. It can be thousands of different computers connected together. It's what we refer to as networking or network. So an IT component comprises of your hardware, your server, your networking devices, your software, your application software, and computer do not understand English. No, you are seeing what I wrote here as English, desktop, laptop, iPhone, but computers do not understand English. This, if you want to write the language that computer understand, you write in programming languages. You write in programming languages. And don't bother, you don't have to understand what a programming or you don't, because you are not a programmer. You don't need it. But just know that if you want to advance from this course, maybe after this course, you want to do another training that we have or another thing, we're going to be introducing you to some of this, which is majorly Python. But you don't have anything to do with it now. So I'm not going to go deeply into this. But also a computer or IT components, we have programming languages. So any question on these components? No question? Good. So the second one, that's the introduction to IT, information technology. So information technology infrastructure. So what is IT infrastructure? Remember the other time in some minutes ago when I draw some computers that connected together, I said a web server, a computer. Okay, I said that when a company have a computer or a server and they stored websites on it, it's called what? Question to the class. Remember, this class is give and take.
Server.
I will ask question, you answer.
Server.
Web server. When a website is stored on a server, it's called that server because becomes a web server.
Web server.
When a database is stored on a server, that server is called what?
Database.
Database. No.
Server.
Storage.
Database server. So when an application is stored on a server, that server becomes what? Application server. So for us to store, or let's say a company has a website. I have a website which is called TheCornelis Inc. The total number of people that visited my website in a day are less than 1,000 people in a day. Compare my website to Amazon.com. The total number of people that have visited Amazon.com in a day are millions, if not billions. So let's say my own websites, I can actually run it on a small system, on a small server. I just have somebody to create a website for me or create it myself. And when they give me the file, I will just put the file on this server and I will give you the link called TheCornelis Inc. Cornelis.com for you to be able to access the information I stored on the web server and you'll be able to see my website. If Amazon now try to do the same thing, like just create a single server, any server, and put their software or their websites on it and share it to people, immediately it's going to crash. But mine will not crash. Why? because the total number of people will determine how powerful your server should be. The total number of people that are accessing your website will determine, or we affect how many servers to create. If you go to Amazon.com and I go to Amazon.com and another person in this class go to Amazon.com, all of us, we are going to see exactly the same thing. But the server that is providing us those information might be different. So on Amazon.com might put their website on thousands, if not millions of servers. But I only put mine on one. So all these servers that, let's say Amazon.com has multiple servers showing exactly the same thing, all of them need to be connected together. They need to be connected together. So that way, when I fill a form and put my username and my password, and I bought some items, if I log out, if I come back tomorrow, there is no assurance that when I log into Amazon again, it's going to show me this system. It will show me another system. It will provide those information to me from another system. But how is now Amazon making it consistent so that either I fill in my username on this system or I fill it on here, any system I come out the next day and use will show me exactly the same information. It's because they connected all of them together. So if you are saving a form here, that form is propagating to this, to this, to this. All of them are seeing, saving, and deleting or creating exactly the same thing. So when you are configuring system for all this company, there is something called infrastructure. If I want to put my website on a server, I can't just go and buy a server and put the website there. There are some things that I need to do, some configuration that I need to do. And if I want to give people access to the server so that they can see it, there is another configuration I need to do. If I want to make sure that I block some people from not being able to access my website, there is configuration that I need to do. All these are referred to IT infrastructure. So by the time I start buying, because by the time I start connecting all these laptops together and connecting it to another laptop somewhere or another system somewhere, and maybe when people started saving their information on, maybe you go to Amazon now, you put in your username, you buy some products, then Amazon are going to send all those information to their database. And for the picture that you are clicking, it's coming from the storage. So all these systems need to be connected together. They need to be connected together, and so that they can provide you the information you need, and they can save your information. And all of these are referred to as infrastructure, IT infrastructure. So what makes up our IT infrastructure comprises of your hardware, which are your laptop, your server, your network, the storage, the software, operating system, application software, and the likes. The database, the application, such as appliances, such as firewall. We're going to be talking about different kind of firewall when we get to the cloud. How to prevent people from being able to connect to your computer. Then we have devices, routers. Those are IT infrastructure. So all this IT infrastructure that we've seen, your laptop, your server, your database, your appliances, which are the networking, firewalls, and this like of them, they need to be stored somewhere. When you buy a laptop, You can put it anywhere in your house. But that is not the same thing with companies. That is not the same thing with big businesses. When they have multiple computers, they can't put all those computers just anywhere. They have to create a segregated place to put all the servers, all the database, all the storage, all the networking. They need to put all of them together. Even you, let's say you start a company today. If you buy a server that you want to store your application, maybe you start a clothing company and you pay somebody to create a website for you, and they create the website. The person say, hey, you have to host this website, which means you have to put that website that he created for you on a server. That's what means hosting it. If you are just starting, you can just buy one server and put it there, and you put it anywhere in your house and connect it. But immediately you start growing. Maybe initially you start with just 5 customers. Then, fortunately, your clothes is so good, people start marketing your product, and overnight you go viral and millions of people want to buy from you. That one website, one server will not work enough. You need to buy multiple servers, because the total number of people that access your website will determine whether the server is going to crash or not. That's why some company, I'm not going to mention their name, or some country, when they announce something, or company, when they announce something like go to our website, then overnight, if you go there, the server just crash, because they are not expecting the numbers of people that access the website at the same time. Maybe what they are maybe they are just thinking like, okay, maximum 1,000 people will access our website. Immediately, this website that is made, web server that is made for 1,000 people, immediately 2,000 people are accessing it, or more than 1,000, is going to crash, because it's only made for 1,000 people. And when we get deeply into cloud, I will tell you how you can see what are the usage capacity of your website. So that way you'll be able to know whether, oh, there is a lot of pressure on this website, or a lot of pressure on this server, or a lot of pressure on this database server, or a lot of pressure on this application server. We'll get to to those ones deeply down the class. But here, when you have one server and your company go viral overnight, and you have 1 million people that want to buy from you, then you need to buy more server, so that you can direct maybe 1,000 people to this one, 1,000 people to this one, 1,000 people to this one, and things like that. So immediately you now see the need to buy multiple server. You can't put 1,000 or 50 server in your room. The heat will kill you, because servers generate a lot of heat. So you can go now and create a room for that server. Like, okay, this is now what we refer to as server room. You can't put it on the table again. You have to create a separate room for it. And that room we call server room. And if 1,000, maybe from just this small server, you now go up to 1,000 server or 500 server, which is now much, then you need to create a separated, or you have to build a house, or rent a warehouse to put all these servers and all these networking devices, the storage, the database. You need a very giant house to keep all those servers. That giant house, or the warehouse, is what is referred to as data center. Is what is referred to as data center. And this is what we actually call, some people might refer to it as traditional data center. And some people will also call it on-premises. So when you hear traditional data center or you hear on-prem, it just means a place. The how large the place is will be different from company to company. But it just simply means a place where computers or IT infrastructure are stored. You have 5 web servers. You have 5 web servers. You have 3 databases. You have 2 application servers. You have routers that connect or send traffic to them together. You have firewall that protects them from being hacked. You have cooling to make sure that there is enough cool, because if you put servers together and you don't have enough cooling system, the server are going to crash because they are going to generate a lot of heat, and you need power to supply them light. So now I believe you know what makes up a data center, because a data center is just a room or a place where IT infrastructure are stored. But one thing is there is a lot of challenges to this. And we're still going to the challenge later, but let me give you just bare minimum. I mean, the basic. The smallest of the challenge is that, look at this house. Let's say I rent a house or a warehouse. I don't really know how to calculate feet. Let's just say this is just 10 feet, 10 by 10. I don't know whether that makes sense, but let's just say it's 10 by 10. That this size is 10, this size is 10. So the number of server that you can put there will be what? Limited. So let's say these servers are only being used by 1 million people. Immediately, let's say there is another president or another celebrity that also like your product and posted it posted it with his followers, and he has like almost 10 million followers, and he asked them to go and buy. He influenced the clothes for you, and that 10 million people want to buy. So this server that is only serving 1 million people will not be enough. So your server is going to crash. So you need more servers. But guess what? We don't have more space because all the space has been filled up already. So you have to go and buy more, rent more storage to put more server. Buy more storage to put more server. But unfortunately, let's look at the scenario. The influencer that markets your clothes, that say 1 million people should go and buy it. Then before those, because you see a lot of traffic in your website, and because this person asked people to go and buy it, and people started buying the clothes. So you now go and stock up a lot of servers. But remember, maybe your clothes is only because of a particular season. That is why the clothes is booming. But what happens if that season is gone? Maybe it's because New Year, that is, or Christmas, or a particular festival. That is why your clothes is booming. So immediately there is no need for your clothes again. Then you don't see all those customers again. Guess what you are left with? You are left with all of these servers with no customers. Nobody is using them because those people, 10 million people, they buy the clothes and they are done. They are not coming back to buy another product. But guess what? Your servers remains. So you need to go and find people that's going to be using this server. Otherwise, you just have servers that are not being used and you pay for it. It's occupying your space. You pay for the rent. You pay for the cooling. You pay for the staffs. So that is why a lot of companies are actually trying to get away from traditional data center, because during the festive period, there is a lot of activities. People do a lot of shopping. So all these companies, they stack up servers so that their sites will not crash. There is one company, one airline, one day their site, even there is one that happened of recent with CrowdStrike. If I don't know any one of you that know that issue, I think that is 2 weeks ago. CrowdStrike, is it CrowdStrike? That they released a solution, and that solution crashed all Windows servers. Companies, airline, everybody was down. There is no network. I think it was of recent. Excuse me, 1 second. So the amount of money that was lost that day is billions. So just imagine this is your company, and excuse me. Yeah, Chairman said she had it. Just imagine this is your company, and you have all these servers. Nobody is using them. You got to pay for it. That's a lot of money you are losing. And all this during this festive period, if like one airline that I was saying earlier that I think is American airline, one day their server go down just for 1 hour. And within that 1 hour that people were unable to access their website, they lost almost $200 million within 1 hour. So just see yourself, you are working for all these giant companies and their server go down. You know how much they're going to be losing for that period. That's why when we get deeply into the course, you will see some things that you can never do online. I mean, you can never do when you start working for people. Like you can never go and stop an instance or a server that is working, because the company are coming for you big time. So this is traditional data center, and a company doesn't want this. They don't want this. During festive period, a lot of activities and companies stack up. This thing is giving me a lot of headache. So a lot of companies stack up. They have a lot of servers making sure things are ready. But immediately after the festive period, after January 31st, everything go down. Then guess what? If a company has bought all these, that means it's going to be there. They are not going to make use of it. And it's occupying space. They are paying for people to maintain it. They are spending money on electricity. They are spending money on cooling systems and things like that. So companies want to cost. They want to cut their cost. And that is why every company are going away majorly from traditional data center. So what are they using if they don't want to store their computer in traditional data center? Give me 1 minute, guys. All right, sorry, I'm back. So what are they using if they don't want to store their database, their server, their IT infrastructure in traditional data center? Then there is something called cloud. It's not like your normal cloud that you look up and see. This cloud is still a data center, but instead of a company, let's say this is company A, instead of a company to have or to rent a place and put all their devices and call this a data center, guess what they will be doing? They will be partnering with another company called Company B. So because this Company B is bigger, it might not be bigger. Let's just say it's bigger in this case. In some cases, they are not bigger. But this Company B has a lot of these exactly the same servers that this Company A need. And they even have more. So they have more. Guess what? Instead of Company A to own and manage their data center, they are going to talk to Company B. They'll say, hey, see, we know that you have all these servers that we need, but we are trying to cut costs. So we don't want to create or own all of this again. When we want to deploy our application, maybe a banking application, instead of us to deploy it on one of our servers, we are going to deploy it on one of your servers. And we just pay you for that one alone. Pay for that one server for its 4 hours. So what does that mean now? Because they only need one server. So they're only going to pay for that one server, or even if they need 4, they only pay for the 4 servers. So what that means now, because they only need 4, they don't have to own all of this. They don't have to own a data center. They don't have to buy cooling. They don't have to buy power or pay for power, because guess what? This person is already paying for it, and they are only going to use these people's server. So this process now is what we refer to as cloud. Cloud is just a data center that is not being owned by you. It's owned by another person, and you are using it, but you are using it over the internet. Over the internet. So anytime you want to deploy your application, you just send it over the internet to this server. This person must have given you some access to be able to log into this server. So you just log in from your remote office into this server and you deploy your application there. And this is the concept of cloud and cloud computing. Because cloud computing, because cloud computing, where am I? Okay, this is where we are. Because cloud computing is just the use. Let me clear this thing. I think it's getting rough. Because cloud computing is just an online service that allows you to store and access data and application over the internet. It's still the same like the normal data center. That is where you store all this computer, but you are not owning it. You are not managing it, but you are transferring the ownership to another person. It's that person that owns it, but you only pay for the one you use, and that is cloud computing. That concept is good because I don't have to manage anything. I don't have to go and rent a warehouse. I don't have to go and buy one giant fan. But in reality, most companies, they don't use data center only or cloud only. They use both. They store some of their resources on-prem and they store some of their resources in the cloud. And this concept of using both cloud and on-prem is what is referred to as hybrid. And this is what almost every company, like 80 to 90% of companies that uses cloud, they use hybrid. They have some resources on-prem and they have some resources in the cloud. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop here today because we said today's class is 9 to 11. So tomorrow we are going to be continuing from here. IT infrastructure deployment. So in our tomorrow's class, we are going to the next topic, which is introduction to traditional data center. Though I've already introduced you to the traditional data center, but we're just going to cover it more. So you see the items that you can find in the data center. And finally, we are going to see the challenge of traditional data center. Then after that, we are going to be introducing you into cloud computing proper. And there are a lot of cloud or a lot of companies out there that provide the services of cloud computing, but our main focus is going to be on the giant one, which is the AWS. And this is it here. So then we start the class proper, which is the normal training that that we register for, which is introduction to Amazon Web Services. Any question?
Apparently, no.
No question? Seriously?
Well, I mean, we just started, so.
What do you say?
I said we just started, so kind of let's get deeper inside, and we probably have some questions.
All right, that is good, and I love that positive attitude. When we get things started, we're going to have questions. One thing I do, I like people asking me questions because that serves two things. It let me understand that I'm not wasting my time, that people are listening to me, and it also makes me understand that, okay, people are actually learning. Because if you don't learn anything, you don't have questions. So if I talk, and you don't ask me anything, I just believe that possibly one thing, you are sleeping. And I have a way of identifying people that are sleeping in my class. If you are falling sleeping, maybe because of the theoretical parts, you can stand up, you can walk around and come back. But one thing that I used to know, or I used to do to know people that are sleeping, I call your name. And if you don't answer me immediately, then you are sleeping. That's it. All right.
Well, you just told us.
Yeah.
So we're ready for it.
I told you so that you can know. I'm not going to just call you and think, oh, you're just going to be surprised. Like, hey, why is he calling me? I have to let you know that, okay, I'm not asking people to introduce themselves, but guess what? I will be meeting you in due course. All right. Any question before we close for the day? All right, if there's no question, I want to appreciate everybody for giving me the privilege to teach you, for listening to me. If you miss the first part of the class, the videos, give me 1 minute, guys. So the video is going to be stored on our website. So if you just go to the training.thecornelis.com, which is our website, I'm posting the link again to the chat. Then you have to register. You have to register. Once you register, it's going to take you to the dashboard. You just click this link here. When you get to the dashboard, you will see courses that you've registered for. And if you have not registered for any course, then go to up here, courses, and you'll see all the courses that we offer. This is the course you need to enroll for. Just click on it. Then it's going to take you to another page because I've already enrolled. I've showed them, you can watch the video. When you click on it, it's going to take you to another page called enroll. Click on it and you will enroll for the class. So once you have enrolled for the class, you can come back here to the dashboard and go to the dashboard. So you will see all the courses that you've registered for. Then if you want to watch any one of them, you can click. You're going to, if you have multiple, you're going to see multiple lists here. Then when you click on it, it's going to say start learning. And you can click on the learning and you will see the video. So you can start watching the video. So every class, well, if you watch this video, I'm going to be talking slowly so that people understand. When I watch videos, even if it is not me that is teaching, I always, at times, I put it in ×2. But if you think like the way I speak is okay for you, just leave it on 1. But if I speak too slow, please, you can forward me like ×2. And if I talk too fast, you can reduce it to 0.1. Then that way, the people that maybe like this one. Okay. So, but that's by the way. So here you will see all the list of the courses, every course or every section that we covered, maybe after some hours, at times immediately, but mostly 30 minutes, 1 hour, or at times it might be a whole day. You will come here, you will see the course. You will see the course and you can click here to watch it. But I will appreciate if you can actually go and watch this on our YouTube channel. I will also post it on our YouTube channel, and the difference is because if you are watching it here, they're actually billing me for that. Because the videos are stored. This video is not stored on this website. It is stored on another website called Bonnet. And as you are watching it there, the content, the video is actually coming from here. And every time you watched here, they are charging me for traffic. They are charging me for it. That's why at times when you are watching video, you just stopped. Then you have some people coming, hey, Yemi, the video has stopped. I can't watch it again. Something is happening. Then when I come here, I will see that, oh, I don't have more subscription. Then I have to pay. I have to pay. You can see currently they have watched. I loaded almost 300 like last month, and people have watched it for $22. So by the time all of you go in and watch this will go away, then I have to pay for it. And remember, this training is free. So that's why I go to here. I'm also going to post a video here. Go and watch it here. This they are not charging me. Yeah, and this will also like make people website, our YouTube go. More people will view it and they will register and can have more customers. So we can have more free training. All right. That's how to watch the video. If you have questions, please, we have a Telegram called TheCornelis Inc. Let me also post the link. So for those people that want to join. So I will be using this to communicate with us. This is what I use regularly. So if you, how do I even share the link? Man, Add member. Let me see. Okay. Invite link, copy link. Yeah, I get it. So here, if you want to join our Telegram, you can join it from there. That is what I use mostly. That's where I use to communicate with people. And if I want to share your success story, I share it here. Is Joe in the class? Is my last batch student? Is he in the class, Joe? Okay, majority of them are not joining this class because this is basic training. But for those people that are for my paid class, they always join. You are free to join my paid class. If you're paid once, you are free to join. The only time I will kick you out is that if you now develop the if you are develop interest in just attending class and not go and look for job, then I'll kick you out of the class. Some people like just attending the class without looking for job. If you are that person, I'm kicking you out. Go and look for job because that's the only way you can appreciate me. All right. So I've shared the Telegram. I think that is all that I have left. I think there's something that I want to talk about, but if I remember later, we put it in the Telegram. If you have questions, please post it here. Don't send me your question directly. A lot of people, because you have my personal number, I put the Telegram link here. I put it here now. That's it. Well, somebody say, can a minor get a job as a solution architect? That minor depends how your age, because there are some certain age you can only do like a very few jobs and things like that. But if you are minor, I'll just say go for internship. If you cannot get regular job, go for internship. And one good thing about internships, some of my students have actually got job in internship. Maybe they are still in school and they can't leave school and be working. Then they actually go for internship. And one thing, good thing about internship is that you start learning without pressure. And guess what? If you learn without pressure, when you know the job, the company will retain you most likely. Somebody want to ask question? All right. People doesn't like question. So that's
Sorry, please, I have a question.
Right.
And when we started the class, you said that you are going to share with us the video of past people you trained. So I don't know if it's now or maybe later.
Yeah, I thought I already discussed that here. So if you go to the website, under the courses, this is the course here. Just register for this. It's free. You see, this is the one that we are doing now. So all the video that I'm going to be posting, you're going to see it under here, under this one. So you have to enroll for this. But if you want the one for last batch, this is it here, and it's still free. So I will advise you, make sure you start watching this before the class. So that way you have question ahead of the class. And most likely, the way I'm going to do this class is that I'll just tell you, go and watch number or day so of this training. So when you come to the class, we can now only focus on the hands-on instead of me coming to the class and start talking again. Because I don't really like talking, but I'm a hands-on person. So we can actually do the hands-on. If you have already watched the training, then we focus on the hands-on. But if you don't watch the training, then I have to make sure that you understand the concepts before we get to the hands-on, and that will waste our time. And if you go to the YouTube too, this one is also posted in our YouTube. Just go to the playlist, you will see it there. I think I answered your question, right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So that is all I have. Sorry, that's 15 minutes extra. We finished the class already. So any other question? If there is no question, I want to say thank you for coming to the class. Thank you for listening to me, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow class is 4 to 6, 4 p.m. to 6. On Wednesday is 7 to 8. You use the same link that you used to join today for the whole of the class. So don't ask me tomorrow the link. It's the same link that you used to join the class today. Okay? Obi, you hear me? You're asking for Telegram. I've posted Telegram link for like almost 3 times now. I just posted it. Just click on it and it will take you to our Telegram channel. Any question? No? Going 1, going 2, going 3. All right. Thank you. And the class has ended.
Thank you.